Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with head of Matchroom, Frank Smith. Frank, I've just seen you a bit of crossfire there between you and JK. What happened there?
No, he's upset with me because Spider's not on the poster, but I agree with him. So I didn't do the poster myself, so he should have a picture on there.
I'll give you a moment to make up for him. How big of a talent is Ibrahim Spider Sullivan?
He's a brilliant talent. We saw him in his last fight, and he's taking real fights as well. He's testing himself. I think he's got a massive future. He's got obviously JK behind him as well, doing great things, but a great following as well. We saw it today, everyone here for the workout today. So yeah, 100% massive future, but I'm getting him on the poster. I'm scared of Jake. Not having a tear up with JK, am I?
I will definitely be backing JK in that tear up. Although I have seen you fight before, Frank. You are, a tank, as has been said before. Excuse me. Let's get to the main event though. Denny versus Cash. Look, you put a lot behind Felix Cash beforehand. How do you feel he squares up against Tyler Denny, who's on a crest of a wave right now?
Yeah, look, I think Felix Cash, we've been with him since day one. He's been someone we've believed in for a long time and still believe in. He's had tough times. He's been very open about those tough times, and he knows now is really the time to either deliver or it could be the end for him. This is a huge fight, but I think he will be too good for Tyler Denny. But, Tyler Denny's on a great run, as you say. It's going to be a great fight. But it's the kind of fight Felix Cash needs. It's a perfect fight for him. If he comes through and look, Adam Booth, he's been training with him now for a while. And Adam's saying he's been consistent, he's been training hard, and he's in great shape. So I think we're going to see a great Felix Cash. But he knows what he needs to deliver. He knows that the pressure's on him. Because Tyler Denny, this is his opportunity, as he's seen, as we've seen on multiple occasions now with him, to really steal the limelight.
Bit of a shame that Cameron Vong and Jordan Flynn falls off the card for now. Are you looking to rearrange that fight and talk me through the rest of the undercard?
Yeah, look, Cameron's, he wants to move quickly. It's a tough fight he's got against Jeff Favori, and sending our best to Jordan, that would have been a brilliant fight. I think Jordan's going to be out for quite a while now, though. It could be an 8-9 month period, and we're not going to let that hold up Cameron's career. Obviously, if the fight makes sense when he comes back, of course, that's something we'll look to do. But Cameron's really wanting to move quick. We see him in the ring now. He's a tremendous talent, but he wants to move fast. He doesn't want to be held up, and we're not going to hold up his career waiting to make a fight. It was a fight people were interested in, but there's going to be a lot of fights people will be interested in with him.
Seems like the UK promoters have really made a thing to invest more or back into Birmingham, which used to be a bit more of a hotbed than it was in this generation of boxing. How many more Birmingham shows can we expect from Matchroom, either this year or in the coming year?
Yeah, look, we've got another huge talent from Birmingham in Galaria Fire as well. Olympic gold medalist. He'll definitely be back out as well again, obviously this year. So Birmingham's somewhere we want to focus on. It's got a huge night on Saturday. We obviously did the show with Galau previously, and huge local ticket sellers as well. A lot of the undercard as well on the card are really delivering big numbers. So definitely a market we want to focus on coming back to for sure.
Get your thoughts on a couple of things, the wider boxing sphere. First of all, apparently a proposal regarding a Saudi boxing league, or at least to purchase the major promotions and kind of amalgamate them all, almost like the UFC. How real are those talks, Frank? How far down the line are those conversations?
Just like a lot of talks in boxing, a lot of speculation out there, isn't there? It will always be the way. I think what the Saudi, what Seller are doing for the sport of boxing is amazing. And I think what Saudi in general are doing for sport as a whole, be it golf, be it a number of other things they're working on, is amazing for the individual sports. And I think, they're going to look to continue to be building in boxing. And it's great times for the sport, but lots of speculation.
So nothing in that?
Nothing.
Fair enough, Frank. Moving on forward, there was some conversation from Devin Haney, a bit of disappointment from him. The Matchroom didn't bid for the Sandor Martin fight. Top Rank have now won that bid. Eddie Hearn has come out and said, given a statement. It was a little bit of an interesting statement. Normally, they're a bit, I'd say, worded a bit more, not as straightforward or matter of fact. So I just wondered, is there anything behind the scenes between Matchroom and Devin Haney, or is it just a black and white case here?
I think it's very black and white. Look, we've had a great relationship with Devin Haney over the years, and I think we've done great things together. And, Devin's done great things as well. He's had to go away. He signed with Top Rank for 3 fights as well to fulfill his dream of becoming undisputed champion as well. So he's done what's been good for him and been the right moves. Like I say, we're not tied to Devin Haney. We don't have a contract with him. Our business is we've got 100 odd fighters. We're doing 35 shows a year. Purse bid's what a lot of people don't understand. If you bid for that purse bid yesterday, you have to put it on within 90 days, which is September the 18th. We've been working on a schedule of shows for a long time with the fighters we've got signed, with the fighters we've got obligations to. It's not as easy as just, here's a $3 million fight, just chuck that on. It's a business at the end of the day. It'd be a different story if Devin Haney was signed to us, but he isn't signed to us. I truly believe we'll work with him in the future. I don't think this is, it doesn't mean we're not going to work with him again. But I think, it's one of those things, it's boxing.
Devin's now saying that he might even take a break from boxing and return when Ryan Garcia sorted out his side of the equation, look to take that rematch. Do you feel that Devin is going to be taking a break from boxing? The Sandor Martin fight won't happen?
I don't know. He'll decide. Look, he loves the sport of boxing, and it'll be up to him as to what he wants to do, what his plans are moving forward. But I'm sure you'll see Devin Haney back in the ring too.
What do you know about Canelo and Skull? There seems to be an agreement, but it might not be the case that the fight actually goes ahead. It might be it's speculated there might be a step-aside situation and another fight is allowed there. What do you know, Frank?
Similar to you, I've seen what you've seen like on media that they've agreed. For now, they cancelled the purse bid. And yeah, that might be a possibility. Look, the reality is Canelo against William Skull. I hadn't even heard of William Skull before it was ordered. I work in boxing every day. Maybe that's my fault. But it's not the kind of fights Canelo's probably looking to do right now. Look, we promote Edgar Berlanga. He's mandatory as well. That's a great fight. Mexico against Puerto Rico. So let's see what happens. But I know as much as you right now.
I imagine you know more than me regarding Anthony Joshua's current situation. He says that he's got some news soon. What is that news?
News soon. Again, I'm always the man that I'll repeat what he said. News soon.
My colleague Danny Flexen spoke to Joe Parker, and he said that he understood the plan before things changed, of course. He was going to be the front runner, I guess, for a fight with Anthony Joshua at Wembley. Was that the case beforehand? Has that since changed now, or do you think Parker's still one of the main front runners?
News soon.
Daniel Dubois is another person that's put himself.
News soon. No, look, there's so much speculation in boxing. You have to wait and see. Once it's in a position that it's all done, it will be done, it will be announced. Boxing, every day things change, every hour things change. So I'm not going to say something that maybe is not true.
Okay, here's a question for you on that point, though. Does the way that the first fight between Joe Parker and Anthony Joshua went the first time, with it being not the most exciting of fights, does it make it a harder sell for Joe Parker to be one of the main to get the fight with AJ in Wembley?
It was a long time ago, that fight. A lot of things have changed. Joseph Parker's changed a lot, in terms of he's done a lot of things in his career, and there was times where people probably didn't think he'd come back and do what he did, beating Deontay Wilder. But I don't know, it's every individual fight on its own merit at the time, but let's see.
Can you say out of Zhang and Dubois, who you feel maybe is more deserving of the two to get the AJ fight?
Everyone's deserving. Look, they've all done. Again, I'm not snookering myself here and saying Zhilei Zhang's done unbelievable things. Daniel Dubois done unbelievable things. They all have, as have a number of other fighters in the heavyweight division, and that's what makes it exciting that all these fights are being spoken about. So I can't wait to see what the news is.
There is some news that's come out just recently saying that there's now been a purse bid for Buatsi and Hutchinson. That was one of the fights touted for the Wembley date as well too. Can we take that as given that will be purse bids go forward, that will be on that Wembley date?
Look, the purse bids have got to happen on, I think they're Monday, aren't they? The 24th? Yeah, Monday. I think it's a great fight. Buatsi, Willie Hutchinson, we saw he had a great win against Craig Richards a few weeks back now. And I think, that's definitely a fight that is of interest to a lot of people. But let's see. We'll have to see what happens on Monday. There'll be, Boxer will probably be bidding for it as well.
A lot of conversation surrounding the Tyson Fury leak video with him coming out drunk from the pub, and people have had their says on it. Some have defended him and said, look, let him have a blowout. But others have shared concern regarding, his past and putting the context of that in, and hoping that we see Tyson Fury in the rematch later on in December. What was your immediate take from seeing that video surface?
Look, a lot of people have been in that position, I'm sure, over the years. Unfortunately, when you're a person of interest, to the world, you're going to have people film you. You know, it's the reality of it. And the other thing is, because he's quite outspoken and he talks a lot about other people, a lot of people are then going to talk about him. You know, I think the key is he maybe was just having a night out. And a lot of people have been in that position. But at the same time, he might be in a hard period where, you know, he's never suffered a loss. But I think, you know, he's seen the video since. He's focused on coming back. He's not the first fighter that would have a drink. You know, we're talking about 6 months or 5 months away from his fight. Not the first fight. It won't be the last. And, you know, I think it's just one of those things. And I hope he's all okay.
The conversations I had with the likes of Johnny Nelson MBE, he's kind of said he doesn't think the fight will happen. He feels that Tyson Fury won't take the fight and he'll wait for, essentially, to paraphrase him, Usyk to exit the heavyweight division, as he's been saying on the 3 Knockdown Rule podcast, move back down to cruiserweight or bridgeweight or whatever, and then Tyson Fury might come back into the equation. Do you feel that might happen, that Fury won't take that rematch, even though he's made the step forward to take it as of right now?
Look, I think it's a massive fight. I think he'll want to have the opportunity to avenge that loss. But he'll do what's right for him. You know, there's big fights to be made. I still think the AJ Fury fight's a huge fight, regardless of all the results. I don't think people read into it too much. But we'll see. You know, I think from what I see, he's committed to the Usyk fight and he wants to get in there and avenge that.
Feel confident that, let's say, Fury does lose to Usyk the second time round, that the fight with AJ will still happen?
I think it's one of the biggest fights in the sport, yeah. I'm not standing here saying it's done or it's going to be, but I think that would be a fight everyone would still want to see. And it would be, still think, regardless of all the results, AJ Fury is the biggest fight out there because it's been going on for years.
Very lastly, you mentioned about persons of interest, Tyson Fury being one of them. There is one as well who, I'm not sure, will he be ringside this week? That being Ben Shalom. This is a matching versus boxer fight night in some form. I believe Ben's been invited. Is that the case? What's the situation?
No, I got asked in an interview, are you inviting Ben Shalom? I said, if he wants to come, then just drop a message and we'll sort it out, as anyone would. But I haven't heard. All I've heard is via an interview. So, if you know, I don't know. I don't know how many tickets he wants, whether he wants 1, 2, 1.5, what, I don't know. We'll wait and find out. I'm sure he'll drop me a message.
Can we take this as the start of something, though? A start of maybe a step forward towards more collaboration, as you're doing with Queensby? You've got your forfeit to do at some point, of course. But is this the start of a step forward towards collaboration with boxing?
Yeah, look, I get frustrated a little bit with questions like collaboration with boxing. We've never stood in the way of collaborations with anyone. Take them out like anyone. You know, our fighters have been involved in their shows as they've been involved in a number of promoter shows. It's really the other way around. It's not really for us to be doing anything. We will carry on business as normal. If we can make fights that make sense for everyone, then happy days. You know, the whole thing of collaboration, friendship, you know, we're not mates, but I work with a lot of people I don't really get on with. You know, and I've been very open about my views. They're not going to change, but it doesn't stop me, you know, from being cordial and saying, hello, how are you? What can we do today for each other? Happy days. Thanks very much. See you next year. You know, but too many people are too soft, too emotional. Just have to keep going. And if we can make fights that make sense, great. If not, no worries.
Looking forward to one of those this weekend. Denny versus Cash. Thank you for checking us out, Frank.